see a lot of Gotham Knights being played, but we weren't able to go hands-on with the game ourselves.
Okay, so that's also a red flag for any development process, because if they let you into the building and let you watch like them play the fucking game, but they don't let you actually fucking like play it, like hold the controller, they're scared. Like they're hiding the fact that a new player could break the game, basically. So they're hiding that, which is again a bad thing. But whatever.
That makes a traditional preview a little difficult. Without having had a controller in our hands, it's hard to say how working through missions or making gear choices feels. And with that in mind, this preview will be a little more structural. With the help of the game's developers, we'll walk you through how Gotham Knights is put.
Also, did they do that for God of War?
Together, revealing brand new information about the open world, how supervillains fold into the fabric of the wider game.
I think the day-night cycle was interesting. But that's the thing. Even though they had it barely ready before E3, they still I think didn't Corey play it on stage or some shit? And that's the thing. Like when a dev plays something, they're like literally like, if I go 2 steps to the right, it's going to like actually just fucking break this game. Like it's literally just gonna like break the thing apart or some shit. So they're like, okay, don't go over there and don't fucking attack this one mesh or else it's gonna crash or some shit. Like
spoken about
overall, like that shit looks cool. Like this Robin power, like because all of them have traversal powers. Robin's is cool because he has this glider thing that's like a jet. But then he also has he taps into the Watchtower's fucking teleportation things and uses them to like teleport short ranges in combat and shit. So it's kind of OP.
Obviously, this month, Gotham Knights' world is aiming to feel like a real city with centuries of history behind it. Part and parcel with that is how truly open it is. The developers ensured that almost the entire.
So like a game being truly open is cap, because like if you look at Elden Ring. Also, this fucking UI still drives me like absolutely insane. Why does it look like this, bro? Like this is actually like a mobile game. Like if I do like mobile game like UI, like it actually looks like a mobile game. Okay, mobile like action game. Like it's actually like the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like literally, bro. Like look at it. It actually this looks better. It has more colors in it. Like I'm so annoyed at like how this UI looks, and this is like literally the UI is literally like white rectangles with text in it. That's it. Like and it's like, oh, they're going for like a minimal look. No, the fuck they're not, bro. Like bro. I don't. My friend always makes fun of me for this, but like look at fucking Persona UI, bro. Like, if you look at fucking Persona 5 UI, like, in motion, it puts, like, everything else to shame. Like, it's actually stupid. Like, it's actually a joke. Like, royal gameplay, no commentary. Yeah, okay. Like, literally, like, it's actually a joke. It's actually a joke. Like, I'm so pissed that this fucking UI looks like this, bro. Like, it should not look like that. Where's the actual gameplay? Limo. Do it. Like. Oh shit! Persona! Okay, first of all, that battle start is fucking sick. And then. I hate English voice acting in Japanese games.
They're out for blood. I'll back you up. So fight like your life depends on it. Let's go.
Poggers. Look at this fucking UI, bro. Actual UI, this game. Here's some white boxes.
Open from the very beginning, with each of its 5 boroughs offering different traversal opportunities, different threats, different activities, and different characters.
So different traversal is like depending like motorcycle or like your fucking random like character ability. Like Batgirl's is gliding, fucking Robin's is teleporting, Fucking Red Hood's is stupid fucking like bunny hopping on the air on like green lily pads, and then Nightwing has like the Fortnite glider. But Robin, like this Robin costume looks fucking sick too.
The team also wanted to create the sense of a city
like
reacting.
Actually, the more I look at that one, that looks exactly like Damien's. Like Damien's costume when he looks more like a ninja. It's none of those ones. It's like it's like this one, but you can't see his wrist guards there. Yeah, it's like this one. Like it's like this one. Cause he has like the fucking ninja things there, like Batman does. Oh, oops, wrong game. The mo. Like yeah, it looks cool there. I like that. So.
Presence of new vigilante.
And then like also the fact, cause what is this on? It's PC and new gen, right? Like. Yeah, it's PC and new gen, right? Only. Yeah. Yeah, it's 5, XS, and PC. So like, I think it will still look good all the way through.
Hitting the streets.
I would say we start off the game in a pretty cold version of.
See, like how they showed like a fall time when he says pretty cold. XD smile. Yeah, because I remember like what after they revealed it, they were like, oh yeah, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox S, PS5, PC, and then they're like, never mind, it's only gonna be on next gen and PC. And people were like, but it's like because you have to downgrade so much shit, like when you fucking like make it for a lower console. So I guess that makes sense. But yeah, like even just like looking at this still, I mean it's a still, like you can't see anything moving, like in the
Police don't like you.
like low level.
Police don't like you.
Fuck off, bro.
New vigilantes.
Like there's no enemies anywhere like around here. There's no one on rooftops, even though in the other gameplay you see people on rooftops. So this looks like they like loaded into the level. They like deadass loaded into the level like this, and they're like, all right, run around. Like I don't think that's much of a fucking like showcase.
Start off the game in a pretty cold version of Gotham. The police don't like you. The citizens don't like you. And over time.
So this guy is the game director, and then they also have the creative director. And I am mutuals on Twitter with the person who was the executive producer for it. And then he left the company before the game came out. Like, they essentially hit, like, Gold Master or whatever. Yeah, I think he was, like if I go to his LinkedIn. I think I still have him on LinkedIn. Also, his name is Osama, so it's kind of funny. He was... Am I not connected with him here? Okay, anyway. Like... Where is it? Oh, he was fucking... Yeah, so he was okay, no, actually, I thought he was a team lead. He was just a game designer on it. But yeah, like, look, like, he started there... Yeah, he went from senior to lead to senior. Like, he downgraded himself and then he left. Which should make you think about it, because, like, if he was on it and, like, leading game design, why did he, like, does he not fuck with, like, when I watch this, I'm like, does he not fuck with these people? Like, because he doesn't talk about it at all. He doesn't talk about the fact that he left Gotham Knights at all. He's just like, oh yeah, I went to go work at Unity. Bungie fixing fucking mod acquisition is never happening, brother. Because, like, the whole, like, fucking thing where, not Ada 1, but the fucking Black Forge lady, when she sells, like, one of the fucking broken mods, it makes the game's, like, fucking population, like, uptick, basically. So, yeah.
Evolves because you identify...
That Batgirl costume is dog shit, bro. But this Harley, like, see, this Harley costume, before Harley, like, is in her new costume, is good. Like, this version of Harley looks, like, really good.
Find out, to a certain extent, what's going on beneath the surface.
But, yeah, that's a dog shit Batgirl costume.
Gradually build the confidence of the citizens.
Of course, some will always be on your side.
So, yeah, like, so, like, when you get to teleport as Robin... You only get to like pause the game or pause the world and then move. You can move your like cursor for like 6 seconds and then you just appear there. I think in combat that'll be really fun.
Act as an informant network for the Knights, offering up missions that will help stitch their parts of the city back together.
So that's cool
Head out into the dark
because like
help bring some light back to Gotham. As it turns out, Dark Knights in training like to come out during, well, Dark Nights. The key to Gotham Knights is that it's not a game with a shifting, continuous day-night cycle. Rather, the entire game is set over
that is a stupid power, by the way. Like, did you just see what that power is?
cycle. Rather, the
Like, it's literally he like lights up the fucking logo on his chest and then stuns everything in front of him.
entire game is set
Like, that's actually like a brain. Like that doesn't make any sense. But anyway,
consecutive nights, with new crimes emerging every evening and villain stories.
also damage numbers is actually triggering. That's actually stupid. Like, I didn't even see that in the first time I watched this. Why the fuck do I have damage numbers, bro?
Lines progressing alongside your work to stop them. The only time you'll see daylight in the main game is inside the Knight's headquarters, the Belfry, where you'll plan for what to do after the next sunset.
She's not even cheeked up.
Of the game experience in Gotham Knights is what we call our Belfry loop. When you exit the Belfry, it's always nighttime. You don't have to worry about when the sun's going to come up. But in the course of that night, there are going to be some crimes that that are happening in the streets of Gotham.
Here?
Are premeditated. They were predetermined by whoever was going to commit them, the day before.
Yeah, that did 38,488 and then does 2791 3 times.
When you complete a night of
And
crime,
then does another 3488. Like, why?
when they're done. But like, it could be a case of them saying, well, I think I've hit most of the major crimes I needed to, or it could be the case of them.
So basically the thing that he's talking about is like your game won't progress because like essentially like the game is probably scheduled just like in Persona. Lol, Andre's gonna laugh at me. Just like in Persona, you have a set amount of like days in the game like for the story to transpire. So like the Court of Owls story could like happen on like day like 2, 3, 7, 6, 15, 20. And so like there's gonna, I feel like, because it always is with like narrative games, there's gonna be a part where like they're like you can advance the Court of Owls story right now, or you can do like a massive side story like with Harley Quinn or Clayface or fucking Dr. Freeze. And when you do that, especially because it's an RPG, you're going to level up, which means it's going to make the Court of Owls story easier. Because unfortunately it has levels in it. It's not going to be like an Arkham game that you can just progress straight through it. You're going to get like level walled. You're going to get time gated basically. Like, I'm sure like if you just dodge every single attack, like you're playing fucking Elden Ring, then sure, it's probably doable and quote unquote like fun. But like, yeah.
Saying, I learned what I needed to learn and now I
But
need
like,
to Belfry to it.
so what he's talking about is like, it's like you essentially like your night is endless until you choose to go back like to like the HQ, and then when you go back to the HQ it becomes daytime, and so in the daytime you do like fucking like briefing stuff. So like you could like do a bunch of nighttime stuff, go to the Belfry for like 2 seconds, and then go outside again. It'll be nighttime again, sort of thing. Which means it'll be a loading screen, obviously. But
the story, for example, then you return to Belfry, and now it's daytime.
Crimes in Gotham Knights come in many forms. They can range from procedurally generated muggings right up to entire gangs.
so you remember when the crimes in Spider-Man were like super AIDS because they were like super boring? Like you would have like the same 3 fucking crimes in Spider-Man. Like it'd be like a mugging, a car robbery, a mugging, a police like cop chase, or a fucking what's the other one? Like, cause there was like a cop. There was one where every single time you got on top of the car, you like dodge on one side, you dodge on the other, you rip the door off. The kidnapping. Yeah, you dodge on one side, you dodge on the other, you rip the door off, you stick the guy to like a pole, then like you get out of you flip the car and then you catch it like right there, like and it's like a QTE, right? And those are the only 3 fucking crimes in the entire game. And it's like, yeah, this is sick, like, the first, like, I don't know, even give it, like, the benefit of the doubt, it's sick, like, the first, like, 10 times you do it. But then, like, when you're just, like, literally grinding it to, like, get more EXP to get, like, fucking points, so you have, like, all your powers, or whatever, I'm like, okay, this is boring. So like them being like, there's procedurally generated crimes as well as like the procedurally generated ones that like, you know, again, like in Spider-Man when it was like eventually when you dealt with like the negative gang or whatever. Yeah, see, that's fucking lame. But eventually when you dealt with like the Spider-Man gang, or not the Spider-Man gang, the fucking like Fist gang, that eventually after you did a couple, it would let you go to the stronghold. And then once you go to the stronghold was the same thing. Like it was the same like triple level or double level like unfinished tower with like X amount of enemies in it. And like you try and like stealth it for the most part, but then just eventually you just go loud and start fucking throwing them off of the building and shit. Like, so like hopefully that part is different in fucking Gotham Knights because like they're already saying that yeah, there's procedural stuff, so like the kidnapping and stuff. But like there'll be ones that lead to further like plot lines, or not plot line, not story, but like further like, oh, they're like running an underground fight ring, or like they're smuggling something, or like whatever.
Complex operations, and the more you foil, the more you'll learn about crimes to come.
Which is kind of cool.
Of information scarcity. So you need.
So like information scarcity is like cool because it technically means that the player like has to play the game, basically. Yeah, I mean I can imagine so because the game like did so well, right? So like it's not gonna fucking like if the game did really well. Obviously, they have a lot. They have a lot they don't have to change. So the little bits they do have to change, they're like poggers. You know.
Stuff out about the city night after night.
You already have a kind of activity queue that you can be tracking and deciding, okay, I think that's going to be more important for me to take on. Maybe this is more interesting to me because it maps better to what.
Oh yeah, I didn't even read that actually. So yeah, here you have more stats, right? You have like 380 power, 210 health, 570 defense, 71 damage melee, 20% crit chance. I don't know what the 1.38 is. It's probably like crit multiplier. His ranged attacks do 19 damage, and his crits do 20% extra damage. And then he has like, what, 3 main perks. And again, this UI is fucking ugly. Like, it is the worst UI I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it's actually just floating text. And then there's like a little bit of a gradient behind like the power stuff. But at least that's like the original costume. That's like the original Red Hood costume with like the original mask.
Because it maps better to one of the challenges that I'm trying to complete. Or maybe this has direct.
But they fucked Jason up so fucking badly, bruh.
Impact on me finding.
He looks so fucking stupid, bruh.
Right? So there's a lot of different reasons why a player might choose to go after one particular crime or another.
Unlike the game's checkpointed story.
And then this lady is also really hot. I hope people draw Roll 34 of her because she's like she's bigger than Jason. She's like one of like the brute characters, but she's like a large lesbian for some reason. And I guess like the question for like you saying like games having the same UI, it's not because they hire the same artists. It's because like the artists that like do the fucking like they're all like sort of taught the same. They're not fucking like unique at all. Like, they're like even this UI, right? Like, he's level 30. Like, I don't know why he has 890 EXP.
Fail a crime, there's no opportunity.
Oh, no, he's gaining EXP. And then you're killing waves, you're defending a van, and then you have, like, all your powers here. Like, but the thing that they said in the first review is that you can change your UI. Like, you can change elements of the UI. Like, in Final Fantasy, my UI looks like this, and everyone hates it. Because like I have a bunch of shit on this side, you can't really see through here, and like I have my buttons like dead center. A lot of people have their buttons like really small, like they'll reduce the size of their buttons so that like the gameplay screen is the biggest. But like for me, it's like the gameplay is still gonna go on behind the button, so I don't really fucking care.
Again, it's all part of the super.
So yeah, like that. So yeah, so also the thing that I'm talking over. Basically, they're saying that, like, if you fail a crime, unlike Spider-Man, if you fail a crime, you're not going to be able to replay it because, like, it's one of the procedural ones, right? So, like, if you, like, lose this mission, if the fucking man dies, and, like, this time it was going to give you, like, XYZ fucking power-up, or, like, experience, or, like, link to something, you'll actually, like, miss out on it, or some shit like that, which is kind of cool.
replay that exact situation again. It's all part of the superhero learning process. Once you end a night, crimes are reset.
That night is over. The crimes that you didn't solve continued unabated, and now you're in a situation where you can.
So like that's cool too, because it means that like if you don't obviously you can't follow every crime thread, right? But it's like if you leave like, I don't know, an armed robbery alone for like 2 day cycles or something, maybe it will turn into like a hostage situation randomly, which will like give you more EXP or some shit if you do it or something. I don't know.
Look at what's coming up for the next night. So maybe you've collected enough clues that you're gonna know in advance. Oh, there's gonna be a heist at the bank, or there's gonna be an armored car robbery, or someone's gonna try to break somebody out of prison. You know, in addition to that, there's a bunch of things you don't know about, right? There's all of the other crimes that haven't been revealed, and you can find out about them through patrolling.
It's a system designed to keep offering new ideas.
I mean, what the fuck comes out in October? Like, this is like some bullshit. Like, I don't even think anything Poggers is coming out in October. I'm not gonna lie. September is fucking loaded. Like the old JoJo's actually comes out. Fucking The Sleep of Us, whatever the fuck Lego Brawls is. Like, none of this shit matters. Like 2K, Splatoon 3, Splatoon should be fucking free, bro. Like that game, the game is good. Like it's a good game, whatever. But that game should be fucking free. It should not cost any money. Like. Yeah, but October, yeah, you got Overwatch 2 right at the beginning, which is just a fucking upgrade to Overwatch 1. You got Marvel Sleep Night Suns, garbage game. No Man's Sky for Switch, whatever. Dying Light 2 DLC, who the fuck asked for that? Literally no one. This is like the Dead by Daylight Dragon Ball game, right? No one gives a fuck about... Okay, No More Heroes is like niche fuck. Persona 5 comes to PC on the 21st. Okay, so Gotham Knights and Persona 5 technically come out on the same day. But, like, does that really fucking matter? Like, not really. Like, this is a re-release of this game. Because, like, obviously 5 came out, like, 2016. Royal came out 2022. No, 2020 for us. For NA anyway. Was it 2020 for us or 21? I think it was like, yeah, it's 2019 in Japan and then 2020 for us. So yeah. Yeah, so the game is already like 2 years old for the West. But there's so many people who I guess never owned a fucking PlayStation for some reason. So they never played 5 or Royal. So this is their time now, because now PC and Xbox people and the fucking stupid Switch molders will finally get to play Persona. So that's a big deal. But it's not like that's going to take away from fucking... it's not like that's going to take away from like, Gotham Knights. Like, if you think about it, like, you can play fucking Gotham Knights and fucking Persona at the same time. Like, Persona's like a shell game that you play at, like, the end of the night sort of thing, right? Whatever the fuck Scorn is, what the fuck is that? It's a survival game. I got something in my eye, no, my eye won't stop watering. I can't see. What's that? Alright, what else fucking comes out that month? Fucking... What the fuck is Moonshine Inc? I actually can't see out of my fucking left eye. Okay, there. Wait. I actually can't see. It's a fucking strategy management game. Shut the fuck up. What the fuck is Star Ocean the Divine Force? That sounds really lame. Oh, this is that stupid ass Square Enix game. This game looks like shit. Is it obviously it's a JRPG, that's a stupid question. I think I saw the trailer of this. Yeah, God of War is what, November? Yo, low key though, Mario Rabbids, people are kind of hyped for that. On the lowest of keys. Oh, fucking them fighting hurts finally comes out of beta, bro. That's crazy. Yeah, caught it, but caught it. Yeah, so caught is like next week. Like, if we're in October, like Gotham Knights comes out Friday, like third Friday, and then COD comes out the next Friday. But if you buy that game, you're actually a fucking hostage. Sonic Frontiers is November 8th. It's pretty cool. Pokemon's November 12th. November, what the fuck is, it's a Saturday. What the fuck? Pokemon comes out on a Saturday. What? And then, yeah, rest of the year is kind of whatever. Like, no one gives a fuck about Callisto Protocol. What the fuck is Witch on a Holy Night? Like, what is that? It's another stupid... It's a VN. It's a VN by fucking Tight Moon. Bruh. And then High on Life is... This is literally Game Pass, so, like, you don't even need to buy that game. You just have Game Pass. And then, what the fuck is that? God of Rock? So, yeah, basically, like, they have a Nier remake for Switch, or Nier re-release for Switch, Overwatch 2. No one is playing this game. Like, I expect this game to have, like literally, like, 10 players. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's literally just Graham on my TL being like, yo, Midnight Suns so poggers, and then everyone else is like, what the fuck is Midnight Suns? No one is playing Dying Light. Like, I'm telling you that right now. Like, where's the Steam charts for Dying Light? Like, literally, who the fuck plays this game? Like, okay, it has 4,000 players. And then its highest in 24 hours is 6,800. And then, like, initial off-rip, like, you know, is 274,000. But then, let's put it against a real game. Elden Ring's highest on PC alone is 952,000 people at once. What the fuck? And then, dude, it has 26k people playing it, like, right now. See, like, I play Street Fighter, bro. No one plays this game. Yeah, it has, like, 1,800 people playing. I mean, it's, like, midweek. Like, these are, like, daily grinders. But, like, what about Strive? Strive is 3.6k, and this is, like, 1.8k. But yeah, Strive's peak is like double Street Fighter 5's, basically. And then Strive kind of blew up like when they announced Bridget, basically. Basically, every spike is them announcing a character or a balance patch. But anyway, back to the video. So yeah, crimes resolved. You get 4,800 fucking monies, and then like 2 mods, basically.
Without feeling inauthentic to how a real city might work. But of course, in a comic book city, not all crimes are created equal. Sometimes in your nightly patrols, you'll stumble across information that points to a much bigger, more recognizable threat.
Did you miss me?
Like, people keep complaining about Harley, like Harley is like fit. Harley Gotham Knights versus like Harley in fucking Arkham. Like, even in Arkham Knight. Like, the difference is that, like, the fucking makeup is, like, it's, like, grittier. You know what I mean? Like, the whole point is that, like, it makes it look like her skin because it looks exactly like Joker from Arkham City. Because in Arkham, yeah, like, literally, just, like, it just makes him look exactly like that. This one, he's dying in fucking Night. This is, like, in Asylum. This is a toy. But, like, it's just, like, weird. These are not gameplay screenshots. Alright, let's not do Arkham Asylum. Let's do City, because he was more normal in City. Yeah, like, in City, he's sick, and, like, yeah, right? So, like, when in this cutscene, like, it looks exactly like her, basically. She even has, like, the same nose. And, like, yeah. I feel like people complaining about it, like, just want her to look like a whore again. Which is, like, understandable, I guess. But, like, yeah, in Arkham Knight, you get to play as Harley, actually. But this is still the best costume. And then this is her Arkham Knight costume, and this is the costume that is corrupted like the rest of Harley Quinn designs, basically. This is Arkham Knight, but what did she look like in City? Yeah, in City she looked like this. She looked like more like a prostitute. Like, yeah. She was wearing like literally just like a corset. And then like in Night she's wearing like more clothes basically. And then like this is just like a costume, but I think it's playable. And yeah, so like people are like, oh, the new Harley looks like ass. And it's like, yeah, because she doesn't look like a fucking hooker anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like the face paint is supposed to be like an ace, right? Because her costume is fucking it's a playing card. Like she has like the diamonds on it and shit. But anyway, did you work at a company for 10 years? Oh, it's a school. Never mind.
We were shown precisely nothing of the game's main story campaign after its tutorial.
Yeah, so
It wants to keep its take on the
so they still are hiding the fucking story. Like, which again is weird. Like, but I guess because the Court of Owls is all about like secrecy, right? So like not showing the story to like the reviewers, I guess, is a good thing. But also showing the stories to the reviewers is definitely a good thing. It's definitely like it gets people hype, right? So like I think they definitely should have shown it. But yeah.
beloved Court of Owls storyline as clandestine as the group itself, but the game's villain storylines aren't necessarily a part of that darker conspiracy. Like any good comic book world, multiple supervillains are running riot across Gotham simultaneously, each with their own agendas. In Gotham Knights, that means that supervillain arcs are optional side stories taking place over multiple nights and made part of the open world itself, not just story dungeons. As you learn more about the villains taking on specific missions along the way, your Belfry evidence board will begin to grow, connecting clues to evidence and eventually letting you trigger what the team calls a villain night.
You know, when we talk about villain nights, we sometimes refer to them as epic villain crime, and it's because we always wanted the villains to be menacing Gotham City. We didn't want it to be a case of, oh, I'm going to go into this sort of bubble dungeon universe and Gotham somewhere else, and I'm just engaging with them here. And sometimes that means we do some fundamentally, big changes, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
In the case of, one of the later missions in the Harley Quinn arc, Gotham City Hospital is going to be, invaded and is going to be thrown into chaos.
Well, it's very possible.
See, like, it's weird. They're like, yo, we don't want to talk about the story at all, but like these side stories will tell you everything. Like, they essentially tell us like the penultimate part of like what happens. Because like before, when they first showed us the gameplay of like Gotham Knights, when you like the first thing you saw was Nightwing bullshit when he was like flipping too much, and then the next thing you saw, like the next sort of like major clip you saw, was Batgirl fighting Mr. Freeze. She's like, oh shit, like all these villains are here, because obviously these villains don't fucking work with what's his face, with the Court of Owls. But like it's cool that they're, because the whole point of like Batman's like rogue gallery is like what's it called? He all the villains like fuck shit up at the same time, but they're not actually working together, right? So like Freeze, Harley Quinn, and like Clayface are not working together. Because also Mr. Freeze would freeze Clayface solid and like kill him probably. But yeah. But actually, that come to think of it, who the fuck is Robin's villain? Because Freeze is Batgirl, Harley Quinn is Nightwing, and Clayface is Red Hood's. So I don't know who I don't think they've shown Robin's, which is interesting.
Optional arcs could illuminate the main storyline somehow. The impression we got is that these standalone villains are there to enrich the sense of Gotham as a true comic book city with multiple threats to stave off.
Like to be 100% fair, her costume, like her animations look really good. Like the animation in this game, if anything, looks really good. Like her motion there where she taps her because she's talking, right? Like her everything there looks like really good. Bending down to pick it up, like it doesn't look robotic or anything.
Is
Like the cinematic
It's
here,
very possible that these optional
even like her minute motions here, this is like 100% mocap.
arcs could illuminate the main storyline somehow. The impression we got is that these standalone villains are there to enrich the sense of Gotham as a true comic book city with multiple threats to stave off at one time. And that applies to the town's
Wow.
gangs as well. As we've talked about before, Gotham Knights factions aren't just goons for a supervillain, although they certainly can be. Instead, they populate the city themselves, causing various flavors of mayhem depending on their affiliation. So far, we've seen the freaks and the regulators, and some of our footage has made mention of Red Hood's hatred for the mob.
Hey look, more scumbag looking for a beat.
This feeling of criminal elements spreading across the city is intended to get across the endlessness of the superhero's job. You're not able to wipe out a faction from the map, you're simply stymieing their work.
You can clean Gotham of crime for a night, but you can never stop it. Even Batman wasn't capable of that, and neither are you.
Practically, that means there will always be crimes to fight. And
Right, he just landed on someone from like 40 feet up.
each one is tied to specific gear, crafting materials, and other unlocks, which you'll use to beef up your heroes. We've covered Gotham Knights many
Fucking, look at this fucking Robin costume, bro. It looks like dog shit. The Red Hood one looks really good. The Batgirl one looks like shit because they're trying to make it look like Black Bat. But let's see. They're trying to make it look like this, but it doesn't. Because the whole point is that she doesn't actually have like a mouthpiece. Like, well, I mean, technically you could just type in Cassandra Cain. Because she's been Black Bat and Batgirl. Like, I think if I type in Batgirl, she just takes off the fucking hood. Yeah, like, it's the same fucking character. Like, the whole thing is that, like, she looks like a ninja. Because, like, yeah, this is just Batgirl. Like, yeah. She looks fucking sick, honestly. This is like a thicker version. But anyway, the whole point is that it's, like, stitched shut. And she has, like, no eye holes. Which is kind of cool. And then so this just looks like a worse version of that, basically. But, like, the Red Hood one looks cool.
superhero suits previously, but that was very much from the cosmetic angle. From a more game,
and these are the OG, like Jim Gordon suits, like the ones like so it's original Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood.
Driven angle, players will be able to craft gear.
That costume looks cool, but again, this fucking UI looks like dog shit. The worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Alters their hero's armor, melee, and ranged items, offering stat boosts and elemental damage changes. Crafting that gear comes down to two things: having the blueprint and the materials to make it.
All of the gear is created through crafting. There are flavors of gear, and it applies in slightly different ways to suits and melee weapons and ranged weapons, but what they kind of have in common is this focus on these elemental damage.
See, like, there's no damage numbers here, but this is from the story level gameplay. Like, this is from, like, the gameplay from before. So, I don't know.
Cryogenic, freezing damage, thermal damage, electrical damage, poison, stun, these kinds of things.
And those interactions should become doubly interesting by introducing another player into the world. From day one, the Gotham Knights team has made clear that its take on two-player co-op is completely untethered, meaning one player can theoretically explore another's world without ever having to meet them.
Anytime you're playing in Gotham City as opposed to inside a story dungeon as part of one of the beats of the main mystery of the storyline, you're untethered. It also provides the most organic kind of superhero meetup.
It's, like, kind of cool, because it means that, like, I mean, not that any of my friends are gonna fucking buy this game, but, like, if they did, it means that, like, they could pull up in my world. They could pull up in my world and, like, help me with missions, and then, yeah.
Opportunity where you think your buddy is with you and then he disappears for a while because he got distracted by something or you found a collectible, and then a second later you look up on a rooftop and a batarang comes out of nowhere and here's Batgirl and she's here to help you stop a crime.
Of course, this could throw up issues of how progression works for players and how players at different parts of the story can interact. The solution is elegantly unfussy. Characters of different levels will scale so that they somewhat match, enemies will also scale to the player's levels, and most importantly, progression matters to the host and the guest.
When you're in Gotham, the host is their story. but 100% of your hero progression is your own. And then once you return to your own Gotham, time essentially restarts in your own story. If you completed a major story beat, a villain arc, dungeon against the Court of Owls while playing with a friend, when you get to that part in your own story, the game will ask you, do you want to play it again? Or do you want to just kind of say, you did this part in some other universe and we'll just fast forward you through it?
That's a decent quality of life
Hours of
there.
the game being played live, there was a lot we weren't allowed to see. The game's main story missions are still a mystery to us, even down to how they're unlocked or displayed on the map. More intriguingly, the team repeatedly made reference to an endgame for Gotham Knights, but steadfastly refused to talk about it. Given the game's action RPG structure, it wouldn't be hugely surprising to find that it included an MMO-style raid of some kind, or, with a focus on the open world as an evolving space, if Gotham itself was materially transformed by the effects of the Court of Owls. We just don't know right now, but the biggest outlier for us is in how the game feels to play for an extended period of time. Combat certainly looks interesting, perhaps a tad heavier than the Arkham series it will be compared to, and with a much bigger focus on using special abilities you've earned along the way. Getting around the city, whether by parkour, grappling hook, bike, fast travel paradrops, or the hero's unlockable abilities, feels like a genuinely fun first affair as well. But Gotham Knights will live and die on how these things string together, and how those smaller moments make its larger structure, those nights of patrols, crime fighting, and clue gathering, feel as compulsive as the team hopes for. There's no doubting the enthusiasm and belief at the studio, but this game will be made by how it feels once it's finally allowed to be in our hands. This marks the end of our month of IGN.
So like, basically, they ain't get to play it, but like, they can be like, oh, it'll be kind of okay. Basically. Kind of. Kinda, sorta. But anyway. I check if Ant, I'm pretty sure Ant left the chat. And Dan, if you're in the chat,